Tony D and Little Joan, and this is your Screenwriter's Rant on three different movies. A hat trick, if you will, by request. First up is Bad Man, starring Sean William Scott. And then there is Cold Storage, starring Liam Neeson in another kind of comedy. And then Ella McKay. Ella McKay by James L. Brooks, who you may remember from The Simpsons. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Thanks for checking out my books, The Pineys, books 1 through 18, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. All right, Bad Man, starring Sean William Scott. I believe this is supposed to be an action comedy, but it's like they're hiding the comedy to try to say, oh, no, it's an action movie. You'll like it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we hired every funny person in Hollywood to be in it, but it's an action movie. It's very serious. It doesn't look very serious. So Sean William Scott is a guy who comes into town. He's a undercover cop, and he's going to clean up the town based on true events because there's a meth ring. There's a meth ring, and Rob Riggle is one of the local cops. And then the gangsters are led by Ethan Suplee. Now, Ethan, you may remember, was super fat, and then he lost all the weight, and he got super jacked. And now he is trying to, I guess, turn a different page in his career and be like cool bad guy. But he doesn't come off as a bad guy. He just comes off as Ethan Suplee in this. Rob Riggle, of course, is hilarious. Every scene, every moment he's on the screen makes me want to laugh. So if this isn't a comedy, you have committed a crime against cinema and comedy. But I cannot help but to look at this trailer and say it's like they're trying not to show you the comedy. And obviously there's some comedy here. Here, this girl earlier in the movie is like in the hillbilly gang with Ethan Suplee, and she's got a banjo, which is obviously like a callback to Deliverance or something. And she's obviously short, and so she's being used as some sort of pawn with Sean William Scott, who's totally over the top in this. But there's not a lot of real comedy here, so it feels like they're hiding it. It really does. It's called Bad Man. I want to like it. I want to like it a lot. Normally, this kind of stuff would be badass, but with some comedy. See, I don't really buy Sean William Scott as a badass. He's not quite mean enough. Not quite capable enough. He's too goofy. Ethan Suplee, I definitely don't buy as a gangster, but I'll accept him as a hillbilly gangster in a comedy movie, because comedy movies, it's a different bar. Comedy movies, it's about being funny. As long as the movie's funny and amusing, it doesn't matter that people are miscast. Doesn't matter. Miscast all you want. But here, I feel like they're doing like a stealth comedy. They're trying to sneak it in. I don't know why. First act, Sean William Scott shows up, and he's going to clean up the town. The other cops will reluctantly join him, including Rob Riggle, who's psyched as always. They start busting things up. Second act, the gang pushes back. Things escalate into the third act, where I'm not sure what happens, because they seem to imply in the description, and this is my second take, that something else is amiss with Sean William Scott. Now, maybe he secretly is stealing all the drug money, and that's part of the true story. I don't know. But either way, I say it should be a comedy, an action comedy, so we'll see. All right, so Bad Man. Yeah, here it is. Here's the write-up. In Colt Lake, Tennessee, Sam Evans tackles a meth epidemic. He is sidelined on the arrival of Bobby Gaines, an undercover agent. Now that's Sean William Scott. Despite Evans' local ties, Gaines is hailed as a hero. Suspicions arise on Gaines, which unravels the complex narrative. So there might be something else going on there. I looked up Michael Doberti, and he does have some comedy creds. One of them is gone 30 seconds or less, which is kind of a fun movie. So I think these guys are attempting to do a comedy action movie, but again, it may have been like the studio, maybe the studio told them, take all the comedy out of the trailer, it's not working. I don't know. Or maybe they told them, we don't want to market a comedy, we want to market an action thing, they'll sell better, so take out the comedy. I don't know why you would do that, but Rob Riggle is always funny. Sean William Scott tends to lean to comedy. And Ethan Suplee, I mean, it's kind of funny seeing him as the gangster because he's not all that mean. I would give the movie a chance. Maybe it's a stealth comedy, and maybe it's very funny in the other scenes. You know, if it was on streaming and I didn't have to pay for it, yeah, maybe I'd give it a chance. But, you know, I wouldn't go see this in theater. I don't even think I'd want to pay for it because of the way they're presenting it here. Next up is Cold Storage, starring Liam Neeson. And basically, they have a government project with a fungus that kills you and turns you into a zombie. Well, first it turns you into a zombie, and then it kills you. Like your head explodes, or here, I'll just play like a second of this. Kablamo, your head explodes, and the fungus infects people. So I guess they had it in a storage facility and it gets out. Liam Neeson is the bioterrorism expert who's going to help them stop it. But they also mention the end of the world, so maybe the world ends in this. It's possible. You got the kid from Stranger Things. I think his name is Joe Keery. But it looks kind of cool, I gotta say. And there seems to be some funny lines. And a lot of crazy zombies. So sign me up. Sign me up. From the screenwriter of Jurassic Park, that is not a good cred for me, and producer of Zombieland, good cred, the Cold Storage teaser trailer is here, taking over theaters 2024. If it spreads, you're dead. Great tagline there. Love that. So this is next year this is premiering. It feels like a February movie. It'd be perfect. Director Johnny Campbell, writer David Coep. When a mutating, highly contagious fungus escapes a sealed facility, two young employees joined by a grizzled bioterror operative must survive the wildest night shift ever to save humanity from extinction. Yeah, and David, I think, has some creds. Besides Jurassic Park. Mission Impossible. Which one is that? Is that the first one? Man, that one's terrible. Black Bag. Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. These are terrible creds, in my view. The Mummy, that's the Tom Cruise one. Oh, man. I do not like these credits. Lego Jurassic World, Angels and Demons, Ghost Town, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, War of the Worlds. That's a Tom Cruise movie, right? It's Tom Cruise versus the Martians, I like to call it. I don't know, man. He wrote The Shadow. That's the one with what's his face? Alec Baldwin. Weird. Toy Soldiers. Okay. Death Becomes Her. Not bad. Not the worst movie I ever saw, but man, these are some tough credits, dude. I don't know. Kind of makes me wonder about this movie now. But I like the premise. I like zombies, so yeah. All right, and finally, Ella McKay. This is from James L. Brooks. And Albert Brooks makes an appearance. This is Julie Kravner as the narrator, her secretary. And it's like, oh, family, they're crazy. You know, crazy family. They're all crazy. Did I mention family's crazy? But this movie seems to be jam chock full of the message, as the critical drinker would say. December 12th, which is appropriate because it seems like a very sappy movie. Ella McKay, Jamie Lee Curtis yells at everybody, emasculates Woody Harrelson's character for some reason. But Ella is like a strong, empowered woman dealing with her family. She's the only one that knows anything. And she becomes the youngest governor in the state. Now that seems totally inappropriate for this movie. And I'll tell you why. See, if you got a whole shtick where you're going to talk about your crazy family, you want the focus to be on the family. So you do want to give the character a dignified job. So let's say the family disrupts that. So you could give her the job as, maybe a lawyer or a judge or what else? Maybe running an insurance company, something like that. When you put her in a political role, in my view, it completely undermines my empathy towards the character. Like, I don't like politicians. Nobody does. Just because she's the youngest female governor, first off, that just screams the message. It's like, oh, this is, if only young women could take over states, then our problems would be solved. Yeah, I have seen young women and how they deal with their problems. Oh yeah, I'm sure they got it under control. But that's what it screams. And then of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is like the grandma that knows everything, and all the men are stupid and dumb, like all of them. Julie Kravner is the narrator, and she's smart too. Like, all the women are smart and all the men are idiots. So here you got her young son trying to have a relationship, and of course his potential girlfriend, interracial couple of course, is like, oh well, it's been a while and we've moved on, we've been with other people, and he looks at her and he's like, oh, or not. Like, oh yeah, she's running circles around him in the relationship department, seeing other dudes, and that's healthy. But then, you've got this scene in this is all in the trailer. You got Jamie Lee Curtis talking to her and saying, oh, you really ought to scream. That sounds like a very liberal solution to your problems, just scream therapy or whatever. And then you got Kamal, and then Johnny's in it. I don't know why. He's like the security guard. And Albert Brooks makes some kind of cameo. Him and Woody are not, they're with Woody Harrelson and Albert Brooks, so they're not in the movie a lot. But here they are screaming. Finally, she screams. Like, the whole movie to me screams message. And this is from James L. Brooks, one of the Simpsons producers. So, what is this movie? Let's see. First act, I don't know, she gets elected governor and everything's great. Then her wacky family starts disrupting her life. But it doesn't seem to really impact her being the most competent youngest female governor ever to live. And then she deals with some stupid stuff and her wacky family, including her fiance. Like, no, dealing with the men. That's the name of this movie. That's what it should be called. Dealing with men and how stupid they are. And then third act, oh, well, if only the men would listen to the women, the world would be a great place. That's what the whole movie feels like. So it kind of pisses me off. Ella McKay, there it is. Let's read the write-up. An idealistic young woman juggles her family and work life in a comedy about the people you love and how to survive them. I don't understand this. I really don't. This isn't a family I recognize. What family has the youngest female governor in the state in their family, and they're not super uber rich, right? They're not like, to be governor, you have to be rich. What small town girl won the governorship? In your fantasy? James L. Brooks writes and directs. I think Democrats have given up trying to be, trying to win governorships and House seats and other political And they just do it in their movies now. They just do it in their movies because it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. Looks god awful. Looks god awful. Not just awful, like terrible. But maybe you'll like it. I don't know. So let's rate these three movies. Obviously, Ella McKay goes way at the bottom. Like, yeah, I don't think under any circumstances I would watch it. This movie would just kind of like annoy me. It would just be sappy and stupid. Probably a really sappy ending at the end. They all come together like somebody has cancer or whatever. Number 2, Bad Man. Because they're hiding the comedy, and that leads me to believe perhaps it's not very good. And they may not be hiding it. It may just not be great. In, action-packed comedies, you kind of want boom, boom, boom. One-liner, one-liner, one-liner. And there's spaces even within this trailer. I could see you could have stuck some one-liners in there. It would have been fun. And it's just like a normal line. Feels lazy if that's the case. Now, again, they may have cut this to keep the comedy out of it to try to broaden the appeal. But I don't know. So I don't trust it, but I probably would check it out if it came up for free somewhere. And then number 1 is Cold Storage. Well, it has zombies in it, so I'm partial to that. Liam Neeson's not a bad comedic actor. I mean, he was pretty good in The Naked Gun. He's really good in A Million Ways to Die in the West. And this, I don't know if he's really in it all that much. I suspect it's mostly about the kid from Stranger Things, but he looks fine in it. He looks like a fun character. They're running around screaming, "Oh my God, the zombies!" So yeah, this would be top of the list for me, and that is my opinion. And that is it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. I have to upload a bunch of videos to those sites because I got so behind the last 2 days. It's been a whirlwind of activity for me on the last 2 days. But the book signing yesterday went really well up in LBI. Next up is Saturday. I'll be at the second. Is it the second Saturday? Yeah, it's the second Saturday in Collingswood, 4 to 8. Should be a fun evening. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.